All right. It's been a long time since I shared a MAME build, but I thought that it was time because stuff has changed in a way that pretty much necessitates redoing your MAME setup. Um, Fairly recently, the audio backend for MAME was all redone and changed and everything. And it turned out that those changes actually had really negative impacts on latency. And apparently, there were some fundamental issues with the implementation of the port audio backend and other things that, basically, were fucking everything up. And so the guy who did the original port audio implementation on MAME actually put together a new audio backend called PART, and it's also port audio, but it basically stands for port audio real time, and it's a new implementation that works with the latest version of MAME, and it's been integrated into Groovy MAME. It isn't integrated into mainline MAME, and so basically we're at the point where if you want the best setup to play games in MAME, you're using Groovy MAME. Even if you have a flat panel display and you're just running on a contemporary modern setup, you're not using a CRT, it doesn't matter. Groovy MAME is basically the best way to run MAME now. It doesn't matter anymore. So this is actually a compile of Groovy MAME's source code, only just modified to add the missing games and get rid of the nag screens and get rid of the lame save state pop-up. And so I'm just going to go through really quickly the configuration options that you want to use this version of MAME on Windows, because this shit has all changed. So first thing that you're going to want to change is sleep goes to 0. It matters. You don't want your shit to idle because it has performance impacts. So set sleep to 0. Um, Most of the other crap is going to be related to sound stuff. So let me go to for the sound API, you're going to set it to port audio real time, and then for audio latency, 4 is a good option. In the real world, basically what happens is you have this basically is milliseconds. And so in the real world, there will be like 2 milliseconds of buffering or something. And so like your overall audio latency will be like 6 milliseconds, which is still really good. Yeah, I mean, even like, the best setups that you can possibly get, they're going to be like single digit milliseconds. This is way better than just using standard, audio that is in exclusive mode, because like normal audio latency latency for a PC setup is in like the 20 plus millisecond range. So 6 milliseconds the 20 plus millisecond range. So 6 milliseconds is less than half of that. It's really good. For the API, you're gonna set it to Windows audio session API, like that. You can specify the actual device you want to output to, but you don't have to. At least in Windows, it'll just pick your default, so it's fine. Doesn't matter. If for whatever reason you have some like weird setup where the device you want to output isn't actually your default device, you can run MAME with verbose and basically just paste in like the literal name of the device you want to output to. The other thing that you're going to want to set if you're just using like a normal PC setup is you'll probably want to change switch res to 0, because switch res it's really a CRT thing, right? It's like you're not going to want to actually switch the resolution on like a modern flat panel display. And that's pretty much it. You're not going to have to fuck with most of the like Groovy MAME CRT settings, if you're just playing with an LCD or something. But basically this is it. This is it now. Audio latency sucks if you don't use this option. So this is it. I mean, if you're gonna play modern version of MAME on a PC, this is pretty much it. Something might change in the future, but for now, if you want to use the latest MAME, this is pretty much your only option. So I'm gonna link the build that you can download And I'll also link the Groovy MAME README if you want to read through the options, get more details, from Calamity because he documented all this crap. But yeah, so that's basically the latest on MAME. Is that so I mean, vanilla MAME builds are just completely worthless today. There is no point at all. Like it's Groovy MAME or the highway at this point. Don't even fucking bother with vanilla builds. They're useless. So yeah, I'll update if anything changes in the future, and I'm sure it will with this shit. It's like it's never done. There's always some fucking upheaval that is causing people to change how crap works.